Most people who know me personally will never work with me. I bet some listeners are like, whoa, why is that, Troy? That's a pretty bold statement. And you know what else? It seems a little bit harsh. Did you even ask? Did you even try? You don't even know. Relax. First, for all my marketers listening, this was not a clickbait tactic. For all my people who know, air quotes, of me, this is not an attack. This is business. And business is understanding your target audience. Business is knowing how much you actually need to charge to make a profit. Now, making a profit can be different for different people. Let me define mine. A profit for me is not just getting paid any amount of money. A profit for me is getting the whole lump sum or the projected percentage over time by volume that will end up being the amount I hopefully desire. Again, it's not just any amount. It's not just about making enough to make ends meet. It needs to be enough where I'm comfortable, but also content. Simply accepting money for what you do as a service or provide as a product can make you a profit, yes, but doesn't necessarily mean it makes you, me, or anyone else profitable. Again, this is by my own definition. So let me say it again. Most people who know me personally will never work with me because most don't need what I'm selling because of how I've positioned my business. This is episode 3. Hashtag positioning. I'm going to let you marinate on that while I'll take a hype break. Cue the hype music.
What's up, digital world? You're listening to the iDigress audio experience with Troy Sandidge. Social media, marketing, storytelling, business, culture, and more. Coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
What's up, world? Digital world. Troy here. And by the looks of it, looks like you're still here too. One of the hardest things I had to learn in this space, and quite frankly in business in general, is about how to position myself. Many people who start out or are trying to elevate their business in a more sustainable model with a more profitable structure need to position themselves in a very different way. Let me break it down for you a little bit further. You may start off selling lemonade outside your home for 15 cents per 8-ounce paper cup. Let's say that uses X amount of water, some sugar, obviously lemons, and it takes X amount of time to make. On top of that, the time for setup for your stand, maybe put up some flyers, and to be ready between the hours of 11 a.m. and 2 p.m. since you're thinking peak time of the sun and heat and all that stuff. But again, you're also considering, well, hopefully it's going to be a hot summer day. Hopefully there's more foot traffic. And the goal is to make $5 because, you want to buy a new toy or something like that. And the toy, let's say, is $4.25 plus tax. So, the $5 benchmark will cover all that. But soon, you're going to want to have that lemonade that you were selling at 15 cents, which you sold in stores, right? That means the people in the neighborhood who grew accustomed to buying your lemonade at 15 cents on a weekend won't be able to afford your new price of $4.25 plus tax in stores. They would have to reevaluate if it's worth it. They'll have to put in the extra work of driving to a store, waiting in line to purchase the product, being the lemonade, drive back home, put it in the refrigerator, wait till it's cold, then drink it. Okay. Either you're like, that was a lot. I'm going to have to rewind to follow that analogy again or read the show notes. Or you're like, okay, Troy, I see what you did there, bro. I followed your story, so what's the point? Swap out the lemonade with what your business is about. Swap out the 15 cents for what you currently charge or think you're worth. Swap out all the details with how much time it takes from start to finish to accumulate whatever you are making. Now, let me ask you this. Is it enough? If you feel a little weight in your heart, and you did the math, and you thought about how much time you put in, more than likely, it didn't feel like it was enough. Am I right? Maybe you're wondering, why did I price my service or my product to be so cheap? Because you did not think about your business as a premium brand. What you charge for and how you market yourself. It's not just about breaking even or simply making a little something. It's putting pen to paper to see how much do I actually need? How much do I actually want? Accidentals plus taxes plus for any extra time. All that together equals what I need to charge. And now I need to reverse engineer it to how I need to market myself to get people to buy in to everything. Stop trying to win the volume game by lowering your prices just to say you have clients or flexing on social media. Start to win the price game. 3 people bought my product or 3 people bought my service. This hit my quota for the week, for the month, maybe even the quarter. I can focus all of my efforts on these 3 people to ensure it provides what they wanted and delivers on the value I promised at the price that they paid. Many who work with me, the first thing we do is a series of questionnaires and surveys. This allows me to understand their full financial situation. Troy, that seems a little personal. Why would you ask that? For perspective, how much is this worth to you in your mind, in your business? How much is this worth on average within the market? How much do you need to make? Now look at the price. Most times it ends with me saying, you need to raise your prices. For many, particularly in the Black community within which I'm a part of, we are conditioned to place our prices low. So we feel naturally people would be more inclined to buy. But take away taxes and processing fees and other things like that. Take away from the amount of time and effort it took to do all of this. Look at what you're left with. And it's not that much. So what do? We position ourselves. When I said in the beginning, most people who know me personally will never work with me, that wasn't me being rude. That's me being honest with myself, setting up boundaries on myself so I can purely understand who my niche audience is, who my target buyer is, and learning from history. And history and data tells me more than likely it's not those who know Troy Sandidge personally. The whole point of this episode is to position. Apply PAM. Position, amplify, magnify. Position yourself in the right room. Position your message to attract the right audience. Position where you need to be. What platforms do you want to be on? That really complements your strengths. Maybe you're not the best writer, but you can talk. Make a podcast or do a live stream. Maybe you're have a mega fear of being on camera. Well, you can do long form content. You can write short form content. Leaning into your strengths. Position. Again, the second, amplify. Doesn't matter if you have the best real estate, if I can use the metaphor, in the digital world, if nobody knows about it. So you got to amplify who you are. Why are you here? Where to find you? How working with me, how being connected with me can provide them something in return. I need to amplify my message. That can be through paying for ads. That could be making an extra effort to really establishing your community. Not for the follower count, but to know that I'm building a network, a community of individuals that have no problem in elevating my message. And lastly, magnify. It's not enough to scream to the heavens to get someone's attention if you can't hone in on drawing them in closer. Doesn't do you any good if you have $1 a day, $10 a day, $100 a day, 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 25,000 of marketing ad dollars spent in a week, a month, a quarter. If you can't Not just get their attention, but be a magnet that draws them in, that captivates them. Position, amplify, magnify. Be magnetic. That's how you're going to win the day. There's always that quote, right, that says if you're on page 2 of Google, you don't exist. I don't believe in that. Anyone could link stuff their way or pay their way up to be the top of the page. And personally, for me, I like to have more than one option. Just because you're the most expensive doesn't mean you get the best. And the same limelight, just because you're cheapest doesn't mean that I should pay for you. Positioning is also about, I don't always have to be first to win. Ooh, I don't always have to be first to win. Did that go over some of your heads? Let me bring you back in. I don't need to be number 1 on Google search to win. I don't need to have a blue check, 1 million followers, 100,000, 50,000, or 5,000 followers to win. I don't need to have a mega huge community. I don't need to have 10,000 subscribers on my YouTube channel to win. It only takes 1 times 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 1. That's why I keep saying to the masses, do not focus on following of numbers. Focus on community and emphasize through community establishing a sub-series of relationships. And you will be successful, and you will be able to position yourself in the right way of power that will give you, again, clover, leverage, clarity, optimization, optimizing this process, providing that value, again, employing that execution within all of that to better position yourself. The more times you do it, the better off you'll be, and I'll give you the ROI and the revenue that you want. And as we're optimizing this process even further, we're going to get retention. Now, if you don't understand what I mentioned when I said clover, that was a gem from a previous episode. Please take a listen to that. PAM, position, amplify, magnify. PAM is an ever-evolving process within itself. Let's go back to the lemonade stand. At the time, I only thought I can get 15 cents, that the value I was bringing was only worth 15 cents if I did it this way, through the lemonade stand between 11 a.m. to 2 p.m., signs and all, on the corner of my home. The more I thought about it and reevaluated, I got better clarity around it. I need to position myself a different way now because I want more. My 15 cents is turning into $4.25 plus tax. And yes, I may lose people in the interim who say they don't want to pay the 15 cents, but I gain more by people who have more exposure through amplifying and then being a magnet, magnifying, providing that magnetism to draw people in. I need to scream loud and magnify deep. Get to the root. And bring them in. It may take a few times, but bring them in. Keep bringing them in. And the more people you're able to bring in, the better positioning long-term that you will get. It's not always about who wants to get it first. It's not always about who looks like they're in first place. I don't need to be first to win. Once you take away that mindset, I need to be first. Replace that with, what would the components be for me to win? For me to be content from the revenue I generate, from the life I want to live. That's the positioning I want. Because I don't know behind the scenes how much they sacrifice to be in that position, and the very position that they think that they're in, that they're so happy about, they themselves do not feel that they're in the right position of power. Because now they're questioning, I'm on number 1, and I'm not getting the results or the experience or the ROI that I want. Because I didn't really take the time to apply clover, again, plug to the previous episode, to really understand where my positioning really lies and how it's going to be best for me to be successful. When you're thinking of marketing processes, a big part of the budget and the thought process and the outlining and the planning is about how do I position myself to reach the most people from a numbers game, but also on the flip side with the right copy, media, and everything else to attract them and draw them in through my UX UI experience to get them to make an action, and then do that consistently enough times that I can not only make a profit, but be profitable, but have a sustainable system where I'm retaining revenue and ROI consistently, where it's now a proven system. Now all I have to do is optimize as the goals go up, as the KPIs go up, versus starting from scratch. Apply PAM, and you will position yourself in a place of power and authority, and in a place where not only will people will see you, because again, that's only half the battle. I need people to see me and then trust me through the messaging that I'm presenting to them and what I'm amplifying to get them to draw near and trust that I will uphold the value that they seek. What questions can you answer? What problems do you solve? And who typically needs those problems solved? Once you answer those two questions and figure out those two things, you already have a good outline of where you need to position. Now I need to learn how to execute and deploy. And from deploy, now I need to know how to nurture and maintain. And from there, I need to know how to apply them into my system that they themselves help me position myself further. And that's by creating brand advocates. That's by really asking others to be content elevators. And most importantly, you want buyers to lead to more buyers. You want buyers to say, hey, I bought this. It worked. It did what it said it was going to do. You should do it too. Positioning is key to being a successful and sustainable business. Positioning is key to getting that next job. Positioning is key to getting the next client or the next customer. Positioning is key to really get the engagement and the community and the KPIs that you want. Positioning does take a lot of work and effort, but I believe that we're all just trying to get better at it every single day. Once more, you don't need to be first to win. Put yourself in a position of power that you achieve what the intended goal is, not what the implied goal is as coming as the best or the biggest. Position yourself from a place where at the end of it, I will achieve the goal I set out to. I may not know all the things of how it's going to take me to get there, but I do know these things, and I'll build off that. And I'll apply Clover, and I'll apply Pam, and I'll put all these things together to make sense of it, to keep moving forward. Position equals power. Do it. And let me know what you think. Thanks for listening.
And that's a wrap. We hope you enjoyed this episode of I Digress. What was your takeaway? Care to share your thoughts and tag Troy on social media? You can find him on all platforms at Find Troy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and leave a review or comment for this episode from wherever you're listening. Looking for a marketing strategist to build the structure, strategies, and systems you need to get the success you want and the ROI you desire in your business? Book a discovery call to talk with Troy at findtroy.com. And as Troy's philosophy goes, imagination is the engine, content is the fuel, social media is the highway, marketing is the roadmap, sales is the destination, culture is the GPS. Thanks for listening.